Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Tuesday, August 15th, 2023. Today we'll recap yesterday's Major League Baseball, FIFA, and other soccer games. Look ahead to today's games. Same for WNBA, portfolio, news and notes, and best bets. So a little bit of a shorter show today. All right, baseball will be first, as it's been all summer. We'll go over the results from yesterday, and we will look ahead to today's games. Marlins over the Astros 5-1. Mets over the Pirates 7-2. Braves over the Yankees 11-3. Cards over the A's 7-5. Rangers over Angels 12-0. Royals over the Mariners 7-6. Rockies over the D-backs 6-4. Orioles over the Padres 4-1. Rays over the Giants 10-2. All right, today's game, 6:30. You have the Guardians at the Reds, so a good in-state rivalry. Logan Allen and Graham Ashcraft. The Reds are the better team probably this season. But for this game, they're only favored -116, and the Guardians are only -102 over under 9.5. Overs -102, unders -120. Guardians -1.5 is +155. Reds +1.5 is -188. All that said about the Reds, I kind of like the Guardians here better. Logan Allen's been better than Graham Ashcraft this year, and the Guardians aren't that bad. So I'll take the Guardians at -102. Astros Marlins, Christian Javier and Johnny Cueto. Astros -120, Marlins +104 over under 9, overs +102, and there's -140 or -124. Astros -1.5 is +134, Marlins +1.5 is -162. I don't think Johnny Cueto is good anymore, period, end of story. I like over 4.5 Astro runs, -104. 7 o'clock, Red Sox Nats. Nick Pivetta, Josiah Gray. Red Sox -172, Nats +144 over under 9, overs -115, unders -105. Boston -1.5 is -105. Washington +1.5 is -114. I kind of like Washington on the run line, +1.5 at -114. I don't have the balls to pick them outright. They might win outright, but I like run line better just in case. Phil's Blue Jays, good series. Zach Wheeler and Yusei Kikuchi. Both those teams are pulling away in their respective conferences. Phil's are -118. The Blue Jays are even money over under 8. Overs -106. Unders -114. Phil's -1.5 is +146. Jays +1.5 is -176. This one, Kikuchi's been pretty good this year. I kind of like the Blue Jays at even money to knock off the Phillies. Pirates, Mets, Bailey Falter, and David Peterson. Mets -136, Pittsburgh +116 over under 8.5, overs -114, unders -106. Pittsburgh +1.5 is -178, Mets -1.5 is +146. I love the over, no doubt about it. On TBS, you have the Yanks and the Braves, Luis Severino and Bryce Elder. Braves -20, Yanks +184 over under 10, overs -122, unders even money. Yanks +1.5 is -105, Braves -1.5 is -115. I don't think I ever have gone against the Yankees on the run line in the history of the Madison Miller Podcast, but I'm doing it here. The Braves are just killing everybody left and right, and the Yankees look like a team that's defeated. So, and they're acting like a team that's defeated, especially even Brian Cashman's acting defeated. I am gonna lay the 1.5 with the Braves against the Yankees. I love it. Tigers Twins at 7:30. Alex Fado and Bailey Ober. Twins -196, Tigers +164 over under 8.5, overs -115, unders -105. Tigers +1.5 is -128, Twins -1.5 is +106. I like full game over here too. Ace Cardinals at 7:45. TBD and Dakota Hudson. So actually it does have a starter listed for the Athletics. Spencer Watkins. Cards are -225. A's are +188. Over under 9.5. Overs -4. Unders -118. A's +1.5 and cards -1.5 is -110 each way. I can't believe the Cardinals are this big as a favorite. They're still treated like the St. Louis Cardinals of old. I mean, I think they are, but especially here, I get it, Oakland's terrible, but I like the under in this game, believe it or not. 8 o'clock, you have the Angels at the Rangers, Lucas Giolito and Jordan Montgomery. Rangers minus 180, Angels plus 152, over under 8.5, overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Angels plus 1.5 is minus 137, Rangers minus 1.5 is plus 114. That's a hard one. I like the over. Don't trust Lucas Giolito. So over is a good pick. Next up, White Sox, Cubs from Wrigley. Touki Toussaint, Kyle Hendricks. Cubs are minus 174. White Sox plus 146. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 118. Unders minus 104. White Sox plus 1.5 is minus 40. Cubs minus 1.5 is plus 116. The Cubs are over 500. They're playing good baseball. They might make the playoffs, for crying out loud. I love watching this team play. So I am going to go with under 3.5 White Sox runs at minus 104. I think this is a good Kyle Hendricks start we're going to get here. Mariners, Royals. Emerson, Hancock, and Jordan Lyles. Mariners minus 144, Royals plus 122, over under 9.5, overs minus 104, unders minus 118. M's minus 1.5 is plus 114, Royals plus 1.5 is minus 137. The Mariners deserve to be favorites here. Emerson pitched well in his first time out. The pick here is going to be the full game over. Next, D-backs Rockies at 8:30. Joe Mantiply is the opener against Ty Block. The D-backs have fallen apart, man. Remember when I think I put a portfolio pick on them to win the NL West? Or no, it was a bold prediction I made in the second half of the year. Oops. Sorry, Dodgers. D-backs minus 152, Rockies plus 128, over under 12.5, overs minus 115, unders minus 105. D-backs minus 1.5 is minus 108, Rockies plus 1.5 is minus 111, under, that's too high. 9:30, O's Padres, Jack Flaherty and Michael Wacha. Padres minus 136, O's plus 116, over under 8.5, overs minus 104, unders minus 118. O's plus 1.5 is minus 170, Padres minus 1.5 is plus 140. Why are the Orioles underdogs again? Did they win last night? Yes. Why are we disrespecting the Orioles? The Padres get unnecessary favoritism because they have big names on their roster. If you're going to adjust on the Yankees, you should adjust on the Padres too. Give me the Orioles at plus 116. And I'm saying you as in the sports books. 9:45, you have the Rays at the Giants. Zach Little and Jacob Junis. Pick them minus 108 each way, over under 8.5, overs minus 112, unders minus 108. Rays minus 1.5 is plus 136, Giants plus 1.5 is minus 164. I like the over more than I like any side in this game. And last but not least, 10 o'clock, you have the Brewers at the Dodgers. The Brewers are playing a little better. Adrian Hauser and Bobby Miller. Dodgers minus 210, Brewers plus 176, over under 9, overs minus 105, unders minus 115. Brewers plus 1.5 is minus 120, Dodgers minus 1.5 is even money. I like the under in this one too. All right, now I'll move on to the FIFA. We will go over the results from yesterday and we'll look ahead to, or I should say this morning, and look ahead to tomorrow morning. Spain defeats Sweden 2-1. Goals in this game weren't scored until the 81st minute. Salma Paralelo in the 81st minute. Then Rebecca Blomqvist ties it in the 88th minute. A minute later, Olga Carmona gives Spain the 2-1 lead as they get the win. to advance to the finals. Sweden goes to the third place game. All right, tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. on Fox, you have Australia and England. Should be a really good game. The home team against a team that usually performs well in these events. So, England's favored, plus 130. Australia's plus 230. The draw's plus 190. I'm going England plus 130. It's reminiscent to the Spain pick. They're just better than Australia. Australia's home. I get it. The crowd's going to be ruckus for them. Wouldn't rule out the draw, but I'm going to go with England at plus 130 to knock off Australia in normal time. All right, other soccer. We have some results to go over, and we have some stuff to look ahead to for tonight, which I'm really, really excited for. We're going to start with the Premier League from yesterday. Man United over Wolves 1-0. La Liga yesterday, Cadiz over Alaves 1-0, and Atletico over Granada 3-1. And I just wanted to see something real quick. All right, so now that we did, so we have League One. So we did all the Premier League and whatnot. So we have League One today. 2:45, you have Barnsley and Peterborough. We're going to do rapid-fire picks here, and then we'll go on to the more important soccer stuff, which I wanted to save for last. So, Barnsley, why can't I find that game? Oh, I found it. Barnsley's plus 105. Peterborough's plus 250. The draw is plus 250. So, for this one, I don't know what to do. Barnsley plus 105. Blackpool and Port Vale. Blackpool minus 120, Port Vale plus 340, draw plus 240. The picks here is going to be over 2.5 goals minus 114. Bolton and Fleetwood Town. Bolton's minus 175, Fleetwood's plus 470. The draw's 3-1. This one's going to be under 2.5 goals minus 112. Cambridge and Stevenage. Cambridge plus 175, Stevenage plus 170. The draw's 2-1. We're going to go with the draw 2-1. Although Stevenage has been hot. 5 straight wins. Carlisle and Wigan. Carlisle plus 160, Wigan plus 175, draw plus 210. Go with the draw plus 210. Charlton and Bristol Rovers. Charlton plus 115, Bristol plus 220, draw plus 240. I'm going to go Charlton at plus 115. Derby and Oxford United. Derby minus 120, Oxford plus 320, draw plus 240. Over 2.5 goals minus 108 is the pick. Northampton and Lincoln City. Northampton plus 180, Lincoln plus 165, draw plus 210. I'm going to go with Lincoln plus 165. Shrewsbury and Burton Albion. Shrewsbury plus 145, Burton plus 195, draw plus 220. I don't know, but I like the draw plus 220. I know who was going to win, so that was easy. Wycombe and Leyton Orient. Wycombe plus 105, Leyton plus 270, draw plus 230. I'm going to go with Wycombe at plus 105. 3 o'clock, Portsmouth and Exeter. Exeter. Portsmouth minus 120. Exeter 310, draw 250. This one would go over 2.5 goals, minus 118. And last but not least, Reading and Cheltenham. Reading minus 3. Cheltenham plus 370, draw plus 240. For this one, we're going to do over 2.5 goals at minus 112. Alrighty. Leagues Cup tonight. Game 1. 7 o'clock. From Subaru Park in Chester, Pennsylvania. The Philadelphia Union are hosting Lionel Messi and Miami. This is a ton of fun. This is the game I'm most looking forward to tonight. And Miami is favored at plus 120. The Union are plus 175. The draw is plus 270. This is the first time I've seen the Philadelphia Union as a home dog in a while. Miami is riding high with Messi. Messi and Miami are rocking and rolling in this tournament. They've been lucky a few times, but I feel like the Union have been luckier. So, I am going to pick Inter Miami at plus 120 to advance to the final to take on the winner of Monterrey Nashville. And 9:30 is Monterrey Nashville from Nashville. Monterrey's favored plus 145. Nashville's plus 165. The draw's plus 220. I think this one goes to kicks. I think this is plus 220. Monterrey wins, and then we'll have Messi against Monterrey from Fort Lauderdale sometime soon. And then the Union will play Nashville in the third place match from Subaru Park. That's my guess. That's how it's going to play out. But I wouldn't be shocked if we have Union Nashville in the final and Miami Monterrey in the third place game. So it's going to be interesting. And this is something that we're obviously all looking forward to. But credit to myself because I had Union and Inter Miami in the semis. But I certainly did not have Monterrey and Nashville. I had Cincinnati and Tigres. So that's where I missed. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm certainly looking forward to these two exciting soccer games tonight. All right, now we'll move on to the WNBA. We have a big game in the WNBA tonight. It's the Commissioner's Cup title game. 9 o'clock on Prime Video between the Liberty and the Aces. It's going to be a really good game. These two teams faced off like a week and a half ago on ABC on a Sunday, and the Liberty kicked the Aces' ass. And it was the most impressive win the Liberty have had all year, and they really haven't looked back. They've been playing good basketball. The Aces are giving 7.5 totals, 177.5. I'm going to take the Liberty getting the points. I don't think they're going to win outright, but I think they'll play hard in this game. I feel like that Vegas home win that they kicked ass in really turned the corner. So I think that they'll play hard in this game. If they lose, so be it. I think that the ass-kicking of Vegas really proved something. And if the Aces kick their butt, it wouldn't surprise me either. The only outcome that would surprise me is Liberty blowout. Again. But it's in Vegas. Commissioner's Cup title game. I think it's a close game, so I'll give you the Liberty getting the points. And I would be willing to take plus 270 outright. Maybe do some parlay round robin with the Liberty, Inter Miami, maybe a couple of baseball underdogs. So So just a suggestion I want to toss out. So the Liberty getting the 7.5 is the pick, but I do think the Aces will win the game. All right, now to the portfolio. So I gave out the Baltimore Orioles 2 weeks ago to win the World Series, and last week I forget what I picked, to be honest. But I'm gonna shop around a little bit. I haven't looked at some football futures in a while, and that's what I'm going to potentially look at here. So I want to see if the Super Bowl matchup are out. Yes. Alrighty, the Super Bowl matchups are out. And for what it's worth, this will not be my prediction in all likelihood. But I want to see a couple of them as like a potential long shot or take a shot on a team you may not expect. I want to see a team that intrigues me in a certain division against a team that I think could be a surprise-ish contender in the other conference. And I'm not saying this is going to happen. I just like the number here. It's 160 to 1. I'm only going to lay a tenth of a unit on it. The Miami Dolphins against the Seattle Seahawks. Geno Smith continues his play from a year ago. The rookies on offense proved to be really good additions. And on the other side of the ball, their defense is improved with a couple of guys getting better. Shelby Harris, good pass rusher. And in Miami, Tua stays healthy the whole year. They win the division. They potentially get Jalen Ramsey back, and their secondary gets better. Tyreek Hill's the best receiver in the league, if not right there. So that's the argument for Miami-Seattle. So just a tenth of a unit, just placing a little bit of a long shot Super Bowl matchup bet. I'm not saying this is going to be the Super Bowl, but I just made the case that it could be. It's a long shot, 161. That's why I only laid a tenth of a unit on it between the Dolphins and the Seahawks. So that's just a lot of fun. I love betting on long shot Super Bowl possibilities in terms of matchups. All right, now I'll move on to the news and notes for today. We have a lot to talk about. We will start with football. The Colts name Anthony Richardson QB1 as he'll start week 1 after beating out Gardner Minshew. He should. He was the number 4 pick in the draft for a reason. I hate when teams take quarterbacks high in the draft and they don't start right away. Remember Eli Manning? Well, that was a legacy thing from a Giants standpoint, kind of, but Eli started the first 2 weeks and then Daniel Jones came in. But if that wasn't a 2-time Super Bowl champion, then Jones probably yeah, we've seen that happen before with veterans. Last year's a really good example. The Pittsburgh Steelers should have had Kenny Pickett be their starter the entire season. Instead, they went with Mitch Trubisky to start the year, and the weird thing is that they didn't make the postseason because of those close losses to the Jets and the Dolphins. And Pickett was in both of those games. But if Pickett starts that whole Jets game, they win that game. Do they make the playoffs? Maybe. If Pickett's their starter the whole year. But they got creamed by the Bills. But that's just a good example of you should go with the rookie quarterback to start right away. I mean, Atlanta should have had Desmond Ridder as their quarterback the whole year last year. So there's just other things that you should factor in when you have a rookie quarterback, and you shouldn't lose your starting job to a journeyman veteran like Trubisky or Minshew. Although Minshew's a little bit better than your typical veteran journeyman type of guy like Trubisky, but yeah, the Trubisky one's the best example recently of a team that went with a veteran for a few weeks over the rookie. I said the Giants, but I know why they did it is because it's Eli Manning, 2-time Super Bowl champion, rather than Mitch Trubisky, former draft bust for the Bears. So yeah, good job on them, and it looks like Bryce Young is going to beat out the Panthers quarterback for their starting job. His name for C.J. Stroud over Davis Mills, so that's really good news. Good news for the New York Football Jets. Breece Hall coming off PUP. So that means he'll be back for week 1. But the better news is that they bring in Dalvin Cook on a 1-year, $8.6 million deal. So that team is absolutely deep. But my question is, for them, the offensive line. It's poor. So if it doesn't work out, the offensive line has a lot to do with it. The Patriots assigned Ezekiel Elliott 1-year deal, $6 million. Great signing for New England. I think that they needed to get a veteran that's proven, whether it was at receiver or running back, more preferably receiver. But Zeke's a good signing for them, I think. Kyle Shanahan says that Trey Lance and Sam Darnold are competing, but Brock Purdy has been QB1 since last year, and that is probably the right call. Purdy was amazing up until the game he got hurt against the Eagles in the playoffs last year, so he has earned it in my eyes. Good news for the Dallas Cowboys. Zach Martin and the Cowboys agreed to a 2-year, $36 million deal. So he's back at camp, so that's really good news. I was optimistic they were going to get that done in terms of that holdout. Jonathan Taylor back with the Colts as he still didn't participate in practice as he rehabs the ankle injury, so that's good news for them. Sad news, though. Former running back Alex Collins passes away at the age of 28. Played 5 seasons in the league with Baltimore and Seattle, so thoughts and prayers to Collins, his family, his friends, the Ravens, the Seahawks. Really sad news coming down yesterday. Mike Gesicki injures his shoulder, but the Patriots are hopeful he can play week 1 despite mild dislocation. That's not great. Zach Ertz likely to start week 1 as he's been cleared for full activity 9 months after tearing his ACL and MCL. Zach Ertz is not going to be on the Cardinals in December. He's going to be on another team. You know they're going to trade him because they're going to be really bad. But that is really good news for the Cardinals for that reason. The Cardinals are going to be awful. Zach Ertz might put up his stats, but whoever needs a tight end could use him. There's a couple of teams I could think about. I mean, the Dolphins, could they use Zach Ertz after losing Gesicki? Do you think the Jets would be happy to have Zach Ertz on their team? That's all of a sudden loaded offensively. Now they brought in Dalvin Cook. There's a couple teams I could think about. The Bills, could they use him? So I think Zach Ertz would be great on a lot of teams, but he should not be stuck on this Cards team. So Stephen A. Smith, there's a viral thing for Stephen A. Smith, a soundbite. He made a comment that wasn't very appropriate about Kwame Brown. He went on a rant about him, and he called him a bona fide scrub, and you know that he is something that he would do over that. He was just going off. The New York Knicks are rejecting trade talks as they're turning down teams trying to land Jericho Sims and Miles McBride as throw-ins in other deals. I mean, I understand Miles McBride, but Jericho Sims, a lot of people like Jericho Sims. He was the third-string center last year. Probably going to be the third-string center again this year. And he had some moments while Mitchell Robinson and Isaiah Hartenstein were out injured last year. He had some moments, but he's okay. But I understand McBride. He's an excellent defensive player. And I think Thibodeau used him in some spots in the postseason last year, if I'm not mistaken. Mikal Bridges praised Austin Reeves. He says, This ain't no underdog shit no more. He's here. Yeah, Austin Reeves is for real. And I liked Austin Reeves a year and a half ago when people just rolling their eyes at Austin Reeves and how the Lakers love Austin Reeves. And then he broke out this year in a big way, especially in the postseason, and everybody realized how good he was. I always liked Austin Reeves. I've always been in his corner. But there's just a lot of media people who just laugh and roll their eyes because he's on the Lakers and people thought he was overrated because he was on the Lakers. Yeah, he's right, Mikal Bridges. This guy's for real. So, Victor Wembanyama has a new hairstyle as Jeremy Schoen, his teammate, is already inspiring Wembanyama. So that's funny. Kyrie defends James Harden in a tweet as Irving responds after Woj describes Harden as disgruntled. Oof. So soccer, Xavi rips into La Liga. He says, I understand why people don't watch our football, as the Barca coach calls the league an embarrassment. Bournemouth wants Adams, as in USA Captain Adams, as Cherry's trigger $25 million clause for Adams. And Adams is keen on move. So we'll see if that happens. Sad news in hockey. Maple Leafs prospect Rodion Amarov passes away at the age of 21 after having a brain tumor for 2 years. That's awful. Thoughts and prayers to his family and the Maple Leafs organization. That's just really sad news. Coming down yesterday afternoon. Cale Makar's on the cover of NHL 24. So that's pretty cool for him. Jeffrey Loria rips Derek Jeter as he says Jeter destroyed the Marlins ballpark by removing home run sculpture. Yikes. Speaking of Jeter, he's taking part in Yankees Old Timers Day for the first time since retirement. They're doing a 25-year anniversary of the 1998 Yankees team, which was the best team in baseball history, in my opinion. And that's pretty cool that Jeets is going to partake in this. He hasn't been to any Yankees functions, really. I mean, he was owning the Marlins for a long time. He doesn't do that anymore, but that's cool that Jeter's going to do the old-timers game. I think the Yankees are trying to overdo it a little bit because the team's not good this year, but it is also a big anniversary to their credit. 25-year anniversary is a big anniversary for what I think, as I said a second ago, the best team in baseball history, the 1998 New York Yankees. So that's going to be a fun old-timers day, and I believe it's in September. I want to say it's like September 9th or something against the Brewers, because I recently looked up when Yankee Old-Timer Day was, but that was before this announcement came down, because Old-Timers Day used to be in June, and then it was in July, and now they're having it in September, which that's cool that they're having it in September, because it's just something to get their fans in the seats, and they're doing it on a Saturday, not a Sunday, because of football, probably. So that's going to be a fun event. There was a bettor that had a $10 parlay that would have paid out $955,000, and it would have won had the Yankees not blown the 7-1 lead on Sunday against the Marlins. Wow. Justin Verlander addresses the Mets situation as he tweets after a report saying he clashed with Max Scherzer and criticizing his attitude with the Mets. So he talked about it, and it was the right thing for Verlander to address it, I feel. College football, the Florida Gators will be wearing black uniforms November 4th against Arkansas, so that's pretty cool. Michael Oher alleges he was never adopted, and Tuohy family made millions in proceeds from the film. As Oher says that Blindside was a lie. Woof. That's interesting. There's going to be more to that story for sure. And the newest college football AP poll is out for the preseason, so we'll go over that really quick. I'm trying to pull that up on my screen here. I guarantee you Georgia's number one. It's stupid if they're not. And they are. Number 2 is Michigan. That's interesting. They were really good last year. Had some key guys back. And Georgia, by the way, 60 points for number 1. Michigan, 2 points. Ohio State's 3rd. Number 1 point. 4th, we have Alabama. 5th is LSU. They're going to be really good this year. I think they can win the West. 6th is USC. I think they're a title contender with the quarterback that they have in Caleb Williams. 7's Penn State. 8's Florida State. 9 is Clemson. So Florida State ahead of Clemson is interesting. 10's Washington. 11 is Texas. 12 is Tennessee. 13's Notre Dame, who I think should be higher. 14th is Utah. 15 Oregon, 16 Kansas State, 17 TCU, 18 Oregon State, 19 Wisconsin, 20 Oklahoma, 21 North Carolina, 22 Ole Miss, 23 Texas A&M, 24 Tulane, and 25 is Iowa. Others receiving votes: Texas Tech, South Carolina, UCLA, UTSA, Arkansas, Boise, Pitt, Kentucky, Troy, Louisville, Auburn, Minnesota, Duke, Toledo, Mississippi State, Florida, Baylor, Illinois, Coastal Carolina, NC State, South Alabama, James Madison, and Liberty. All right, so too high, too low, and snubs. Too high, I think that Ohio State's too high. They're going to be good, don't get me wrong, but they shouldn't be third. We don't know what their quarterback situation's going to be like. C.J. Stroud's gone. We don't know if his replacement's going to be better. I think USC should be higher because of Caleb Williams. I think that Notre Dame should be higher because they have a loaded roster. TCU was just in the title game. I understand they lost a lot of players, but give them a little bit more respect. I think Kansas State should be higher. I think that Washington's too high. I feel like Washington's overhyped every year. Oregon State, I don't think should be in the top 25. Tulane lost a lot of people from last year. You could argue they shouldn't be in the top 25. North Carolina, you could argue, should be higher. Oklahoma is probably where they should be. And a team that you can make a case belongs in the top 25 is probably UTSA. They have a lot of players coming back. I know they moved conferences, but I think they're going to be really good this year. So I think the team that got snubbed from being in the rankings is UTSA, and the team that I don't think should be in there is probably Oregon State, because I don't think that Oregon State, or at least they should be probably like where Tulane is, and you could argue Iowa shouldn't be in there. I get Texas A&M, I get Ole Miss, North Carolina obviously, but you could argue Tulane shouldn't be in there in Oregon State, but Oregon State, to me, is a head-scratcher. I mean, at least, all right, the highest they should be is 25, but I think UTSA got snubbed from the list. So UL freshman is going to Australia as Trenton Flowers announces decision to leave Louisville for pro ball aboard. That is not good for Louisville, obviously. So that's a big deal. And then the big story from yesterday was Donald Trump indicted by a Georgia grand jury for his role in efforts to overturn the 2020 election results. Obviously a big deal. Rudy Giuliani was also indicted. There's, I think, 20 people indicted. And it's obviously a big deal. It's his fourth time being indicted. And this is the biggest one yet. And this obviously has a lot of impacts in the 2024 presidential election as well. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. I know we had 20 minutes for news and notes, but we had a lot of stuff to talk about today. So best bet, one really jumped out at me. It's a total. It's between a bad team and an underachieving team, and that is the Pirates and the Mets, over 8.5, -114. I'm going to lay a quarter unit on it. So over 8.5, -114 between the Pirates and the Mets for my best bet of the day. All right, that's it for the show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything. Look ahead to everything tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll begin our series of position player rankings in the NFL as we'll start with the quarterbacks. So that should be a lot of fun as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everybody.